Okay, Boker Tov, good morning, Tzafetava. No, Tzvi, you hear me? Oh, okay, Nachavip. Very good, you've been, Yesh Lecha Mazal. Nachamo. Yesh Lecha Mazal, She'en Lanu Moshe. Ein Lanu Moshe. Yuval. You know, you may, one of these days you'll have to bring me over to Yuval, okay? And I don't know if he's there.
No, he isn't there. Yuval, they switched him to a different shift. He's not there anymore.
I think that's the reason Moshe is not taken care of. Because Yuval...
Yeah, of course it is. That's the reason. Sure.
Okay.
I don't know him.
That's it. Oh, anyway, Ratziti Agid Nachamo. Nachamo meant... What are we saying, Nachamo? Because unfortunately we lost another soldier. We lost Vladimir Luza, Ben Shloshim V'Sheish, 36 years old, from Ashkelon. He's father of two daughters, and of course a wife. And his birthday, remember he was 36, he would have been 37 on July 28th. So what Makara, unfortunately, with what's going on, with every day, they're saying, yes, another day. They've already stalled 2 weeks, pressuring Israel. Every day they're planting more bombs, mit'amin. And unfortunately, again, this was a mit'an that shehit potzetz, and we lost Vladimir. And it's a terrible, terrible thing. We need to have a Yeshua from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Tzvi, I want you to look behind me. Yesterday we didn't mention it, so I just want you to know.
15, all right.
Okay, so what do you say?
So I say 2 to you.
Okay, 2 to you. Okay, but you also say something.
2.
You also say, what's your nusach? What's your nusach? You also.
So nusach is Hayom.
15
יום שאין 2 שבועות ויום אחד יציאה מן הגלות. It's coming.
Okay, since you say B'tesi Me'agolis, I think we'll talk about Kuf Yud Daled, and you're going to have a real treat today. Kuf Yud Daled for Tzvi.
Don't kid around with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, that was a good treat, huh? Oh yeah, I knew you would like that. Oh, Kol Beis Yisrael, Achenu, Kol Beis Yisrael, Hanasun B'tzara, B'tzara Uvashivya, Omdim Ben Bayamahu Ben Bayaba. So Hamahok Yerachem Yerach Hasiyeh Sarah Lera Yehara Ula Hasta Bagala Ovi Koriv V'nomar Amen. And B'tzeis Yisrael mi Mitzrayim wenn die Indien Zenen herausgegangen von Mitzrayim Beis Yaakov das Haus gesund. It's interesting that the only word for today, Haus gesund, is healthy house. Okay, whatever they mean, Haus gesund. It's interesting they have in Yiddish. I think it most probably has a different meaning. Von Yaakov, Me'am Loes, is herausgegangen von a Volk, welchen redt a fremde Sprach. Me'am Loes. Fremde Sprach means strange language. And that's my Yiddish for today. But I also...
Fremde Sprach is a strange language?
Sprach, yeah, strange language. Fremde Sprach. What, see? Safar Zara. But he said, Me'am Loes. Loes is foreign language. Anyway, Heint, Chav Zayin.
That's what it says. Just to add one word to that, Me'am Lo'ez means from a nation that one pshat is that they spoke Laz, they spoke a foreign language.
Right.
And the other is a nation that spoke badly about Am Yisrael.
Oh.
Me'am Lo'ez. They were Lo'ez. So Rabbi Soloveitchik said the following thing. He said there are two expressions in the Torah using the word Vayoreu. It says by the Mitzrayim twice, Vayoreu lanu, and then it says Vayoreu otanu. What's the difference?
To us and us. To us and us.
I would say, what he explained, the difference is, one is odot. One is about
As a result
us.
of. As a result of.
And the other one was us. Us ourselves. In other words, but there's one Vayoreu Otanu means that they spoke badly about us.
About us.
Vayoreu Lanu means
We were the bad ones.
They made us the bad ones.
Made us the bad ones. Okay, very, very shkayach on that.
Loas.
Loas. It's a win-win, not a lose-lose. Anyway, it's Chav Zayin Thomas today, and usually I start immediately in Nidchei Israel, but because of a special yard site, besides Rabbi Yaakov Chai Tzion Adas, we know his neched, the Makubal. I don't want to say the one who, let's put it this way, he davens a little loudly. That's the Rav Yaakov Adas. His grandson is the Mechaber Divrei Yaakov, we all know is a regular at the Kotel. Okay, and but the reason I'm mentioning yard sites first is because my Rosh Hashiva, Reb Shmuel Rozovsky, Reb Shmuel ben Michal David Rozovsky, Reb Shmuel, Ani Od Shomea et HaKol, his wonderful voice. He had a wonderful, resounding voice, Reb Shmuel, and I have his, I think I mentioned last year that I have the sefer that was given to me called the Rosh Hashiva, a beautiful sefer, a few hundred pages that talk about Reb Shmuel. I will talk about him after the Shir, after Nidchei Yisrael. Also, it's Yitzchak ben Yosef Moshe Harif. Okay, so let's go to the Nidchei Yisrael. We're on Chav Zayin Elul, and we're at the Hagah, the footnote. Again, I keep saying, Ani Omer, Kol Pam, Shachavetz Chaim Hu Kamo Navi, Hu Omer, Ma Yiyeh, Im Yavo L'Chapes Hon, fortune. If you're fortune seekers, and you come to the Golden Medina, you come from Russia in the 19th century, and you work on Shabbos, you eat treifas, you lose your religion. What happens? Ukvar Amar Shah Shlomo HaMelech Olav Shalom B'Koheles Perek Zayin Pasuk Yud Zayin Al Tisha Habe V'Al Ti Sechel Lama Shema Tamus Below Itach. If you become evil, if you do averos, Chas v'Sholom, why did you do that? You could land up dying before your time. V'Nazbir Kavanas Akosu, the Chavetz Chaim says, Sha'amar Sha'al Yarbe Barosha Pen Yomus B'chatzi Yomav Below Ito. Are you there? You're not.
I'm here.
I know you're there, but I'm just saying, okay, you're still traveling. So Chas v'sholom, if a person sins, we're saying a recidivist sinner. We're not talking about everyone, ein adam shelo yechte. But we're talking about if someone totally loses his religion, what he basically does is abandons his life, even in this world. Mashal Adan, and the Chavetz Chaim, who's beautiful when it comes to parables. He says could be equivalent to a La'adan, Shahayalo Kerem. Someone, a master, a balabayas, had a vineyard. Nechmad was beautiful. The Nitios, Shonos, and had different plants. Mechol Eitz had different fruits from different trees. Kol Eitz Machal, from fruit trees. V'nechmad be'enei kol arov, and it was beautiful to all who would see it. Ubetocho, bona migdal etalpios. Do you know what a migdal etalpios is? It's like the sha'on, like mare sha'os. Mare sha'os, according to Chavetz Chaim, is a sha'on, is a watch. And migdal etalpios is a watchtower. So he built, I think you are parked, am I correct? Okay, so that means that we have to hear from Tzvi, who's about to see his personal trainer, and we're going to ask Tzvi, how did it go with your sprints yesterday? Your sprints, sir.
So my personal trainer was a no-show. He didn't show up.
But you showed.
But I did too. But I did show up, and I did four sprints of 100 meters.
Wow. And could I ask, after your sprints, did you have schwitz? Did you schwitz after your sprints?
That's a personal question. You shouldn't be asking that.
But what's true is I needed a good spritz afterwards.
Anyway.
I'll try. You see this guy? Can you see this guy jumping rope?
Wait a second.
No, he's finished.
Okay.
There's this one guy here. He's an old man, and he walks around with a jump rope, and all of a sudden he starts jumping rope. It's amazing. He Bekoshi lifts his feet off the ground, and he whips 50 loops.
Wow.
What I do want to tell you was it'd be interesting to follow the path. But this morning, as I was just coming back to the Kaisel, I went up to get a cup of coffee before davening.
Reb David.
So there was a young man standing in the Rachva, and he says to me, do you speak English? So I said, yeah. So he said, I have a question. So what's his question? He wants to know what would happen if he went to the ladies section.
So I could tell you, Ma'aseh Shahaya. I could tell you. Every so often, I have to take some stenders from the women's side because the women have more stenders than the men. When I'm Shabbos,
right.
So I would open up the door. I'd go in the women's section, and most of the women, Baruch Hashem, they're all tzadkanios. We're not talking about the women from the Kaisel. We're talking about the women of the Kaisel. You're talking about Odos and the women. They literally are the Kaisel, including my Rebbetzin when she comes to daven there. So they wouldn't mind at all if I went to the women's side. But I once had a situation where I was with my Rebbetzin in South Africa in 1977.
Nothing to do with the Kosel.
No, but I'm just talking about what happened. We were in Bloemfontein, and my wife had
in Pretoria.
Pretoria, we had to get a certificate, and they had two lines. They had a line for the black people and a line for the white people. And of course, my Rebbetzin, who's from South Africa, stood on the white line. And I, being the way I am, I stood in the black line. And they said, Master, you should stand here. This is not for you. And I said, well, we're all brothers. Anyway, so they threw me out. That's what I have to say. I don't know what we were talking about, but that was my mushal.
No, what would happen if the gentleman would go to the Ezra's Nashim at the
if Ezra's Nashim, what happened?
I told him that if he would go over there, I said they would probably scream at him.
It's possible.
So he said, well, he said, well, I don't want them to scream at me, so I won't go over there. I said, it's a good idea.
Okay.
The only men that they allow there are the cleaning guys. The cleaning guys come and go even during the davening,
Right.
and nobody says boo.
Right.
But any other man, it would be a whole different story.
I wasn't as much telling him what would really happen. I was trying to relay a message of that it's not the right thing
you're absolutely.
to go over there.
Russian, Sagan.
Turns out he's from Rapid City, Dakota, South Dakota. And he came here and he's looking around to find out as much as he can about Israel and about Jerusalem. So I told him, I said, hey, you gotta not just be a tourist, you gotta find out about your Judaism. I said, you gotta, next time you come here, I said, you gotta see this place here, Ishator, you gotta go there and they'll tell you about your roots. And you go, wow, he says, wow, my skin is like, tingling. So I told him, well, that's Hashem is talking to you.
Oh,
wow,
sweet. Wow.
He says, yeah, I feel it. Anyway, so I walked away. And I said to myself, that's the wrong thing to do. So I walked back to him and I gave him my phone number. I told him that, if he wants help in directing him and stuff like that. So I have his phone number, so it'll be interesting. Maybe I was thinking see if he's interested in like a partner in Torah relationship.
Oh, well,
that's a good idea.
Well, you could even hook him up with Aish, because in the good old days, I'm trying to remember his name, at the Kotel.
I don't know, Meir Schuster.
Meir Schuster, all over Shalom.
I don't know what they do today. I think it's really shrunk, the whole Bali Tshuva
Kiruv situation. Well, that's a good segue. That's a good segue to what the Chavetz Chaim exactly when Nidchei Israel. What happens to our Jews when they go to this Dakota? However, the Chavetz Chaim talks about Tzvi. He talks like those who are ruts Tzvi, those people who sprint like Tzvi, those who ruts lamitzvahs, have a ruts lamitzvahs. He's actually running after that person. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And one of these days, when Mirza Shem, you Makarev him, we'll put him on our program when Mamish will have him as part of our But I want to wish you today, Moshe might not be here, but we have to say, we have to know to say, Chaim. Oh wait, that's true. My Rebbetzin said we can't let you go without a bissel Yiddish averta.
I didn't say that. I said you have to ask him if he has any Yiddish words.
Okay.
I wouldn't put pressure on
Okay, no pressure. No, Nishkin Spresser, Nishkin Schwitz,
Ein Lachas.
Nishkin Spritz, aber Efscher hat a Yiddish word for uns.
Look quickly, seeing if I saved anything. I think actually, believe it or not, yesterday, I think I got all the words.
Okay, wow. Shkaya.
And I get all the words, so I don't write anything down.
Okay. So maybe even if you get all the words, save a good word for us. You'll never know. Okay.
Enjoy
what I am going to do this week is I'm going to take out from my archives in my drawer my bar mitzvah speech.
Oh, why is your bar mitzvah parsha? Is your bar mitzvah parsha coming up?
It's my bar mitzvah parsha. It's Matos Masai, and I'm going to take out the speech that Rabbi Savitsky wrote for me in Yiddish.
Okay, so ich kann reden ein bisschen von der bar mitzvah parsha, aber ich will sagen etwas.
Ich habe gedacht, dass der bar mitzvah parsha, ich habe gedacht in den Shabbos bar mitzvah, eine ganze Drosche in Yiddish, ich habe nicht verstanden.
Good. Okay, that's perfect. That shows you. The truth of the matter is that when we were in the Malach, we knew all the Torah, and we come back in this world and the Gilgul, not in this world, and we don't remember what the Malach told us. So that's basically what happened to you. Because right now it can verstehen dein Yiddish Wort. You do now. You can understand it.
Yeah. Aber Rav Savitsky read a tiefer Yiddish.
It's like tiefer means deep, a deep Yiddish.
A tiefer Yiddish, a deep Yiddish. Weiß ich nicht. Meine Yiddish is nicht a tiefe Yiddish.
Rega.
Wir wollen Zennen.
Ihr soll nicht sagen, Lashon Hara auf sich, weil ich kenn's dir, also ihr seid nicht von the deep state. You're not from the deep state.
Ich will nehmen ein Stickel von der Drosche, wir reden das in dem
Erev Shabbos Kodesh.
Erev Shabbos.
Okay.
The broadcast.
Okay, believe neder. I just wanted to say that why my edition of Nidchei Yisrael, which I get online, the whole first part of the edition is in Yiddish teich. They have Nidchei Yisrael, really every word that I talk in Yiddish, they also have it. But I figure I'll go for the Hebrew and the English. Okay, anyway. Yom Chaim Tovim. Okay, it's well into we talked about Migdal, the Tapios, that in the yard, according to the Mashal, there was a watchtower. Pam Achas Ra Adam, once upon a time, the master, the Balabayas, the landlord, the owner of the garden, Derech Alon HaMigdal, through the watchtower, Ech Ish Echad Hitnaheg B'toch HaKerem, how one person hit Ganev, how he broke into the vineyard, which was private, the Hizchil Alakot Ma'at Nepriyayis, and without any person he trespassed, and he started taking from the fruits of the tree. V'sam Bekelev, and he put it into a bag that he had. V'yisapik Adam V'yidam, and the Balabai saw it, and he held back instead of yelling at him, and he was silent. Achakach Shama Adam, and after that he heard the Balabayas Ech Shaganav Medaber Benafsho, that the Ganav started talking to himself. Mali laharbis amel lilko peri. Why should I toil so much and just take down a few fruits? Echtoch es anofim in perosim. I'll just cut down the branches with all the peros at one time. Kirosa Adam roel avovo. When the landlord saw that this guy was really evil, ki hischil lixos es anaf lishchis karmo, they was going to start cutting down the branches and destroy his vineyard. Hayalo ad maod. He got very angry. He chas al avdan karmo hayakar, because he feared the loss of his beautiful garden. The cholzos, nevertheless, his apik again he held back. The omad al makomo lir mayasul od. He wanted to watch to see what this guy would do further. For ish aganav lo histapik was there, and the ganav went one further. He went one notch higher. Bezeh uber also kovako. He looked around. Ki ein ish. There's no one around. Vayomer nafshin. He said to himself, Ma li lavalo zman. Why should I spend all this time la'akar anaf to break off branches? Tovli la'akar is kol ilan. You know what? I'm going to uproot the tree. Bavas achas. And I'll bring the tree to my house. V'sham esa imaperos ketobenai, and I will grow the trees, the peros, on my own. Kishmo balabayas, kehichin et atzmo la'akor hakerem meishorish. When he realized that this guy was so evil, he was going to uproot his tree. Amar lo ace lahashkos ulhasre. It's not a time to hold back anymore. Ki od ma'at v'karmi lishma l'shama. He will make my vineyard, and beautiful vineyard, will be desolate. Yeah. And to my beautiful garden there won't be any remnant. So he started shouting, Hey Russia, Ish Mashchis, Charif Yodecha. You evil person, you should stop. Kasher Ra'isi. When I saw that you dug your way into my garden, and you started to take from the fruits of the tree, I suspected, belibi, that your Yetzer Hara overcame you, and you simply wanted to have some fruits to eat, because you realized that the fruit was beautiful. Uperio lahaskio, and then you would be enlightened. It would be good for you. Achbirosi, ki zodan libcha, when I saw you had malice in your heart, hisiyachal exos penatios lahashchis karmi, hayofa, chora api, when I saw that you did more, that you started breaking down, tearing off the branches, I got very angry. Ad mod, v'tikton od zos beinecha, and this was nothing to you. You didn't feel any that you were trespassing. Lehevel akar as a kol akaram, and you decided you're going to destroy the entire vineyard. With including all the roots. The ace, and at that time lo arich api od, I could not hold myself back. And I would pay back to you what you have taken from me. In other words, I will punish you. Kain hadover hazeh, the Chofetz Chaim says, the mashal, the nimshal, that the kerem that we're talking about, the precious vineyard, he Torah seinu, is our Torah, hakdosha, asher bo nata Hashem, asher nata banu, kol Torah seinu, nata Hashem kol eitz nechmad, lamara, v'piri l'haskel, v'eitz, the beautiful trees, eitz chaim lehi l'machzikim bo, v'eitzei barama chaim, heim l'machzikim bo, d'chsiv, ki lo dover reiku mekem, the Torah ki hi chayecha, your Torah is your life, ubavaseinu rabim, but as we sin, nimtzoim kayom, shu olim ktanim, there are small foxes, mechabli kerem Hashem, that destroy, the Yetzer Hara, that destroy the vineyards of a God, of Hashem. B'schila yasitim libam, these foxes or the Yetzer Hara, first they persuade you, they incite you to lifrotz protzus begeder hakerem, to break into the vineyard, kamo lavor al takonos usyogim asher godru chachamim. First they break, they don't follow the ordinances and the siogim, the gedorim, that a chacham and kadonim would put time call bal yehi nofa kerem lemirma. You shouldn't be trampled the ragle hashor v'achamor anoshim adomim lehema v'achachach yasitam yetzer lechem libam hara lixos benetios hagefen, and then they go further and they cut off the branches. Atzmam dahainu she'amale libam lavor al gufei Torah asim 11. More than just the gedorim, they actually transgress the mitzvahs aseh, the mitzvahs lo aseh. Ach lo yomer b'zeh, die. And it wasn't enough for them. And hemshech zman, eventually they go down that slippery slope. V'yavakshu la'akor sakol, they abandon everything. Ubeshat nefesh, and wantonly yorushu be'ikvam chamuda shebechamudas ashkolas keneged kol Torah. They actually transgress the entire Torah, and they do even the most severe sins, kamo Shabbos, arayos. They are over Shabbos, the mechalel Shabbos, and they have illicit relations. Ubedomim mitzvarim shahu yehoreg al yaver, and all these things that you should actually be killed rather than submit. Ach be'emes habal kerem hu adon Hashem. Who is really the Baal Habayis? Kaviyachol, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Asher shomer sakerim v'nehedar pirya v'lo yitei mot l'rekarmo hitarasa l'kachlo. He won't let people destroy our Torah. Chaviva lo amod, which is very dear to him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Asher krosa kli chemdoso. The Torah is called his precious treasure. V'lo yarech apo od l'mashchisim hem rak ya'ashen af Hashem kinoso ba'anashim. Hashem will actually blaze out against those people. V'ravatz bohem kol ela haksuva b'sefer haTorah ba'odam ba'avat yakapot b'chatzi. He will cut them down in the half. They will chayav koros yazovu kol tavus libam v'achab kol kli mamdosam d'kasib b'telim v'od ma'at v'ein Russia. You know, there won't be any Russia left because he will destroy them. And that's, we go back to the pasuk that we mentioned earlier in Koheles, that we said that you shouldn't become a Russia. Kolomar, Yosem Midai Lakor Hashorish as Anaf, that you shouldn't go to that next step to tear off the branch pen Thomas, because you will unfortunately cause your premature death. Below Yitzchak, Kilo Yarich Apo Kulo Hai, Kadosh Baruch Hu will not hold back when a person transgresses all his Torah. They ain't rush of his bonus. And this is basically the footnote. Very important. And it's already 30 minutes, and we don't have time to talk about the yard site. So I'm going to go very quickly with Reb Shmuel ben Michal David Rozovsky. Nolad ב-1913 ונפטר ב-1979, נולד בגרודנה, למד בישיבה שער תורה, היה תלמיד מובהק של רב שמעון שקופ. ב-1935 אביו נפטר ועלה לארץ ישראל, למד בישיבת לומז' בפתח תקווה, ב-1944 היה ראש ישיבה בפונוביץ', רבי יוסף שלמה כהן לקח אותו, ואחר כך ראש ישיבת גרודנה באשדוד. היה מחבר שיעורי הרמים, שיעורי הגרש רזובסקי, חידושי רש שמואל ושיעורי רשמואל, קובץ זיכרון רשמואל. היום זה גם כן, רב שמואל אמרתי, was a very dynamic, and we would hear his shiurim in the kibbutz, in Panovich. Kibbutz, of course, was for those who were not in any specific shiur, they would come to the shiurei klolim. And in those days, I was able to hear Rav Shach, Rav David Pavarsky, Rav Beryl Pavarsky, and Rav Shloimke Berman, and Rav Gershon Edelstein. Rav Yitzchak ben Yosef Moshe Chorif is also his yard sign Mechuna. Rav Itzel Chorif, Yitzchak Eisenberg, נולד ב-1740 ונפטר ב-1813, היה רבה של עונש סמבור, היה מחבר שלש תשובס פני יצחק, האלף לך שלמה פני יצחק, שלש תשובס פני יצחק. And with that, we have learned today, please take care of your vineyard and make sure you're mekarev, just like Tzvi. Take someone that you know and bring him closer to Avodas Hashem.